Hey everyone, well this is it. This is our final week of learning for the semester. So we have one last topic to cover and then we've made it. I know it's been a very unusual semester and again I know that a lot of us have, or a lot of you have adapted to learning in a different way with this exclusively online delivery that we've been doing. And again, I thank you for your patience and I thank you for kind of rolling with it as we sort of see what the future holds. There's a lot of discussion about what's happening this fall. More likely than not, I want you to be prepared for the fact that for those of you who will be returning to Harper in the fall, it is not going to be a completely on-campus experience again. We are Harper's in the process of discussing with us sort of our needs for the fall as faculty, and there's going to be a big push for online and blended classes. So please keep in mind that even into the fall, it looks like you're going to continue to have a component of your learning be online. Whether you'll be able to come to campus for if you're taking a lab class or if you're taking some sort of a discussion group type class remains to be seen. But I told you all if I heard anything about the fall that I would share that with you. And as of right now, Harper is still trying to figure out what the fall looks like. But I will let you know that it's not going to be everybody back on campus. It's not going to be that experience, that there's going to be very few students that will be allowed to come in and out of campus based on their classes. They're really going to try to keep down the numbers of students that are in the rooms, the numbers of students that are congregating in places. It's going to look different, to say the least. So with that information in mind, sorry, interrupted by my kids. With that information in mind, let's go ahead and talk through what the next 2 weeks is going to look like. So we have our final week of content this week, and then next week is sort of reserved for our exam. I'm actually going to open your exam early, so I hope to have it available starting this Friday. So for those of you who just want to finish things off and take care of it and be done with the class, you can go ahead and do that. So remember, the exam is just those 4 essay questions that are in the study guide for the unit, just like it was last time. I'm giving you more time. I'm giving you an extra 15 minutes on the exam because I read in the blogs that some of you kind of felt rushed, so I'm going to give you extra time. And then again, once you get that exam in, as long as you have submitted all of your other assignments, you're good to go. That's it. You're done with the class. For those of you who need a little more time to catch up, you can. I would prefer to get everything in by the 15th of this month, May 15th. That's when I'd like your labs. That's when I'd like all your blog posts. You can catch up on blog posts. You can catch up on the response posts. Catch up on other assignments. So if there's things that you didn't turn in when we first transitioned to online, go back and turn all of that in. So I'll still give you credit for all of that. So again, I'd like to have things in by the 15th. However, if there's things that we need to push back through the end of the weekend, I can, but I also want to make sure that I have plenty of time to get your grades in. And going through 90 essay exams, reading 4 essays at a time takes some time. So again, the more you can get into me, the sooner the better off we'll be in getting those grades in on time for you. But if there are extenuating circumstances, whatever it happens to be, let me know. Say, hey, I need a little extra time. Can you give me a few more days? And we can definitely work around that. So let's take a look at what we've got on tap for this week. In our Unit 4 folder, we're in our May 4th to May 10th folder. For lecture materials this week, this is actually a combined chapter of both chapters 15 and 16. So the topics are urbanization and sustainability. The lecture video that I made mostly is talking about sustainability. The reason behind that is that this week's assignment is about urbanization. You're going to watch a quick TED Ed lesson, which is like a 3-4 minute video about the growth of cities historically and what we expect about cities in the future. And you're going to answer some questions. So because some of that content is being covered with this particular activity, I didn't really talk about it too much in my lecture, just to give you a heads up. So this is our sort of last topic that we have to cover. For lab this week, again, with the understanding that we're not doing anything else from the lab manuals, we're doing standalone lab activities instead. Last week, I had you all go out and I had you do a scavenger hunt. So I was asking you to find very specific things outdoors, and I wanted you to take a few pictures of a couple things, and then I also wanted you to fill out that worksheet with your answers and the things that you found. This week's a little different. This week, rather than going out and looking for something specific, I just want you to go out and observe. This is nature journaling, is what we call this. And if you've kept a journal before, or you've done any journaling activities for any other classes, journaling is very much sort of a free flow, write down whatever comes to you type of activity. There isn't a lot of structure to it. The idea is just to write down what you see, in this case for nature journaling, what you see, what you hear, what you observe. That's sort of the idea. So you're going to go outside, spend some time out there. I'd love for you to spend at least 20 minutes. If you have more time to spend than 20 minutes, spend 30 minutes or even an hour, however much time that you have. Just go outside and be an observer. What's around you. So I've given you a few different examples of what a nature journal could look like. And again, understand that these are people who are nature journaling and sharing their journal with others. So these are much higher quality than even what I put together. I even gave you an example of what I put together. And it's kind of sad, to be a little bit honest with you. I'm not a great artist. But in any case, the idea behind the pages here is you can write down words, you can sketch what you see, you can make lists, things that you see, things that you noticed, what the weather's like. Oh, here's some drawings. I didn't do this one. This is somebody else's. Mine is down here, and I apologize. I couldn't get the picture to flip no matter what I did. So in any case, this was my nature journaling activity that I did last week. So again, the idea here is just to go outside and take some time to make some observations and write them down. If you like to draw, do all drawing. If you're more of a verbal person, you can use words, use a combination of both, use color, use whatever you have, right? To submit this assignment this week, you'll just take a picture of your journal, right? So whatever page that you sketch out, take a picture of it, and then click on the link here for nature journaling and upload it right to Blackboard. So again, just as a reminder, when you sort of click on that link and you have to scroll down past all this part, you can just attach a file right here. Okay, so your picture or whatever it happens to be. So that is it for our lab and our lecture activity. There are 3 sections this week that are, let me get to the right area here. Assignments, here we go. There are 3 sections this week who are doing blogs. So we have 152 is going to be the final blog post, and then sections 151 and 153 need to get their response posts in. So Tuesday lab, Wednesday lab, and Thursday lab are all doing something with the blogs this week. So please make sure you get a chance to do that. Also, and this is something I haven't mentioned yet, so this is the first time I'm mentioning it, a few weeks ago, you should have got an invitation to complete the SOI, which is our Student Opinion Area of Instruction. So our Student Opinion Area of Instructions are sort of your standard, what you think of the class kind of thing. So just to illustrate right now, the SOIs, this came through your email, your Harper email, and there's a link for you to complete for this class. And you click on the link and it'll ask you questions, right? So if you've been at Harper, you were here in the fall, you probably completed these for your instructors in the fall. The response time, we still have 6 more days. So this closes on Sunday, May the 10th. I haven't had a whole lot of you fill out surveys yet. And again, I understand there's a lot going on, and to click on one more thing and to fill out one more thing, I get it. We have to prioritize our time. But if you do have the time, these are something that, this is feedback that I as an instructor and all of your instructors, we do really greatly value your input, especially as this model that we're using right now. In the fall, with my class in the fall, it's most likely going to be that my lectures are going to be online, and that some portions of the lab will be in person, but some portions of the lab will be done at home. So I would really, really appreciate feedback, in particular on your experience with sort of what's been happening online. So things that you like, things that you wish you saw that you didn't see, that you said, hey, you know, another instructor did this, or I found this to be very helpful in another class that I did. So any of that feedback that you can give me through these SOIs is extremely valuable, because I'm going to use that to help me build this course for the fall. Because again, even in the fall, it's not going to be a fully face-to-face course. There's going to be a lot of online components to it. And you all, since you have sort of done almost half the semester you completed online, your feedback is invaluable to me in how I can prepare for that next class. So remember, if you don't know about the SOIs, these are completely anonymous. I can't see who's completed these. So for example, I know that in the Tuesday lab and the Wednesday lab that 4 people in the class have completed the survey, but I have no idea who those people are, and I won't know even when I get the results. It's completely anonymous. So if you can... Okay, sorry, my other child interrupted me. In any case, whatever, again, these are anonymous surveys. I don't get the results until I'll get them sometime later this summer when they compile all the results. And again, it's a very useful tool for me to prepare for, again, what comes next for this class, both next fall and potentially next spring as well. So if you do get a chance, I would greatly appreciate if you could, again, go to your email. It got sent through Harper, and it'll have an individualized link that says click here to complete your SOI survey for Bio 104. And you click, and then you just go through some sort of standards, agree, disagree questions, and then any comments you have. So I think that about does it. For those of you who are submitting extra credit, what I'm trying to do with the e-waste audit, as those come in, I will try to grade them and get those grades, those extra credit grades posted. Keep in mind that I've got a max of about 25 extra credit points that you can earn. So if you notice that you sort of top out at that number 25, it's because the combination of assignments that you've done, I can only, again, the grand total of that is 25 points that I'm awarding. So it's not that I'm forgetting to give you any credit, it's just you kind of max out at 25 points. Also, if you could please do me a favor, if you have submitted especially blog or blog responses that were previously due, and you're going back and kind of catching up on those things, please send me an email to let me know that you have completed those, so I can go back and look for those assignments for you, and I can update your grades. I try when students email me and say, oh, I did a blog response that was due a couple weeks ago, I try to make sure that I go and I get those points up for you right away, but I do recognize that there's a couple of students that they sent me an email and it didn't make my radar, and so I didn't get them their points. So I certainly want to make sure that you aren't missing out on any points because of something that I didn't do, which is go back and check those blogs. But if you don't alert me that they're there, I don't see them and I'm not looking for them, and so I can't give you those points. So go through your grades, go through your blogs, make sure that you're not missing anything. If you see points and you're like, oh, I know I did that post, or I know I did those responses, send me an email and say, hey, Mrs. Pierce, can you check this out? I'm pretty sure I did this, this, and this, and I haven't received credit yet. And I will, of course, go back and make sure you get all of that credit. And also keep in mind, you can go back and do these things right now. So we're here towards the end. We've got 10, 11 days sort of left. Please go back and if you've got the time, do those blog posts or do those response posts. They don't take a lot of time. You can sit there all at once and do sort of all of them and earn some of those points back, because I certainly don't want you to miss out on points if you don't need to. And that goes for any assignment that is still outstanding. So anything that we've completed since we've been online, I will still accept those posts or those assignments, even if it says late when it pops up. Don't worry about it. I'm not paying attention to that. It was just to kind of keep us on track. I want to give you those points. You just need to submit those assignments to me. I think that's it. I'm trying to think. Kind of feels strange that this is like our last big weekly announcement. I mean, I'll have one next week, but then it's just the exam. And that's it. So, yeah, can't think of anything else. Email me if you all have questions. It's not a great weather week, not the best week for nature journaling, right? So I'd hoped for better weather like we had, over the weekend, but it's okay. Throw on a sweatshirt, walk around outside. Things will still be active. Have a good week, everybody.